Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show World Cup Daily for the 27th of February, and things are certainly heating up. We'll get into both the recaps with two of the competition favourites making statements overnight. South Africa staying perfect, and India finally lighting up that scoreboard. We'll have a look at a preview of the England and New Zealand clash, as well as touching on a couple of women's games that are to come in the next 24 hours. Make sure if you haven't already to hit like on the video, hit subscribe on the channel, help us to keep growing our platform, and of course, get involved in those comments. And if you want some sports snippets, just those short little doses, be dropping in your feed. Make sure to find us on your favorite social media platforms. At The Chris Mack Show is where you'll find us. But let's dig into it and let's talk South Africa versus the West Indies. And Aiden Markram was ice cold again for South Africa, this time with the bat, 82 not out in a chase that never felt like any real drama. It was a comfortable waltz for them. The chase was won in the first half as Quinton de Kock smoked 47 off 24. Markram and de Kock putting on 95, the South Africans' best opening stand of the tournament. Ryan Rickelton came in and did what he does so well, finishing it off with 45 not out from 28 as another left-handed foil. The West Indies, they were in trouble early. 83 for 7 in the 11th over. A disaster, you could say. The rescue, it was unreal. Jason Holder, again, 49. Romario Shepherd, his maiden T20 International 50 with 52 not out. And a record 8th wicket stand of 89 to drag them to something that was semi-defendable, but the method stayed boundary or bust for the West Indies. They are the entertainers, but 126 of their runs from boundaries, 53 dot balls in the innings, which is a big concern when we get into the meaty games, should they make it that far. It was South Africa's bowling, though, that was so strong. Lungi Ngidi got 3 wickets, Kagiso Rabada 2 to do the early damage. Corbin Bosch chimed in with 2 as well. West Indies just kept on swinging despite the wickets falling and offering more and more chances. South Africa were far from perfect. They dropped 4 catches in the field and a few other patchy moments out there, but it didn't matter. Their chase was explosive and far too clean. South Africa are looking like the most complete team so far through the World Cup. They've got pace options, calm chasers, and a top order that can switch roles from steady to smoking them seamlessly. The West Indies will now head into what will become essentially a must-win quarter-final-like match up against India, and they need to get things sorted because that batting performance was nowhere near that is deserving of a semi-final berth. We move on, India versus Zimbabwe, and India responded like we knew they should be, but haven't been so far in this World Cup. 256, a statement total built on ruthless tempo and impact. The key theme, everyone came in and went hard from the get-go. Strike rates were stacked up across the innings. India hit 17 sixes, the most they've ever hit in a single T20 World Cup innings. The batting tweak that did matter, India broke up the left-handed logjam by bringing in Sanju Samson. Samson's role, early disruption, and forcing Zimbabwe's quicks back. 24 of 15, getting that momentum started for the home side. Abhishek Sharma finally found some rhythm, much to the relief of Indian fans. 55, his maiden World Cup 50, smarter shot selection, less reckless charging, and he just looked in a much better rhythm. In the middle and death overs, there was some pure violence from the Indian batting lineup. Hardik Pandya took 50. Tilak Varma went full finisher mode. Unbeaten, 84 not out off 31 late, 4 sixes each in the finishing kick. For Zimbabwe, the positives and the one-man show. Brian Bennett played an absolute beauty. 97 not out with 6 sixes. Alone kept the game respectable. But Zimbabwe also hurt themselves with the ball. 2 key drops in the field that turned maybe into no chance. In terms of India's bowling, Arshdeep Singh led the way, 3 for 24, and he jumps ahead as India's leading T20 World Cup wicket taker going past that man, Jasprit Bumrah. The new ball pressure basically ended the contest early. The one red flag, though, India's 6 bowling option got targeted. Shivam Dubey went for 46 from his 2 overs, absolutely smoked. So it's something they probably need to work on if they do need to look at that versatility of lineup as we head towards their last game in the Super 8s and then onwards to the semi-finals if they get the win. As I said, it does set up a virtual quarterfinal with the West Indies for next up. The winner will be alive and the loser will be all but done. We move on to some previews now. And as I said, touching on a couple of women's games that will happen this afternoon, Australian time. Australia's women will take on India in the second one-day international of that series. That game will be played at Bellerive Oval in Hobart, kicking off at about 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It's a chance after Australia dropped the T20 series to India to try and get this one locked up. A good win in Brisbane got things started for the Aussies. They can go back-to-back in the first of 2 games in Hobart. That will give them series control. India do need a response after a really disappointing performance in Brisbane, and they'll look to some of their experienced performers to get that done. The other one, New Zealand women taking on Zimbabwe again. This one, the second T20, coming to you from Seddon Park in Hamilton, 5:15 Australian Eastern Daylight Time. And all eyes will be on New Zealand's new captain, Amelia Kerr. Her ton in the first game set the tone and took the win for New Zealand. It was the backbone of their performance, as was her bowling. New Zealand will look, again, like Australia, to lock this series up early and make it 2-0. Zimbabwe, they've got a lot of work to do, but they are an emerging country. They're not as developed as their men's side, so some work to do for them. Continue to build on the experience, but New Zealand will be very, very warm favourites here. We move on and let's touch on the men's T20 World Cup preview. England and New Zealand go toe-to-toe. New Zealand, they're chasing a semi-final position. England already through into the semi-finals. But New Zealand need that win to remove all doubt and lock down that position and maybe even top the group, which will hopefully set them with a better semi-final opponent, depending on how they look at it. Pakistan, on the other hand, they will need England to beat New Zealand, and then they need to smash Sri Lanka to win the net run rate race. So New Zealand are in pole position, irrespective of the result here, but a win would lock it in. England, they're the masters of winning ugly. The big talking point stays around Joss Buttler. His form's fallen off a cliff, but the faith in him remains at this stage. But how long does that last if he continues to underperform? Harry Brooks' move to number 3 has changed England's feel. It gives them earlier access to the power play, good big hitting, and better setup for the spin overs. For New Zealand, they just knocked Sri Lanka over using a spin-heavy plan, and they'll back it again if the surface is similar. A slight watch point, the New Zealand middle order hasn't had much time in the middle just yet due to how dominant their top order has been, and that washout game as well. So if the pressure's applied to them, can they respond? The same Premadasa surface as New Zealand versus Sri Lanka, turning track, one short square boundary, and spin is likely to be key here again. But it's something that both sides have certainly developed and worked on in recent games. Most matches at this venue have been won by the team batting first. Chasing has not been easy as the surface gets tacky, so the toss could be extremely crucial. Can England finally produce a complete performance is the biggest question mark hanging over this one. While there will be some asterisks over New Zealand's middle order, and if they can fire, if England take early wickets, and if New Zealand win, the semi-final venue permutations will be settled fast. Well, that's your World Cup Daily for the 27th of February. South Africa stay unbeaten and look scary and composed. India finally flexed those batting muscles we knew they had and set up a blockbuster quasi-quarterfinal against the Windies. England and New Zealand next, and Pakistan are watching, hoping and praying that it goes their way to keep them alive. Make sure to like if you haven't already on the video. Hit subscribe on the channel and check out our socials at The Chris Mack Show, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and X. You'll find us across all of them. We look forward to seeing you back here again tomorrow for another World Cup Daily. In the meantime, thanks for tuning into your home of the black and white of sports. No grey opinions here.